Hey everybody. Hey, welcome back, downsizers. Just wanted to make this video real quick. I am on my way home from work, and I had to make a stop because I will be going to Ohio tomorrow to pick up my car. I know that in some of the videos, I'm pretty sure I said I've been driving my husband's car because my car was in the shop. Well, it's actually in the shop in Ohio. I need to go back to pick it up. So I went, my mom has actually been asking for these cookies. Okay, now this is just story time. I'm just going to tell y'all this story because it really touched me. And hey, it's fresh in my brain, so I'm going to share it with y'all. Who else would I share it with? Well, I've been promising to send my mom these cookies. So wait, first of all, let me give a big shout out to Schmackery's in New York. Okay, if you've never had a Schmackery's cookie and you went to New York, you haven't eaten. You have not eaten. Okay, I don't even know if I'm allowed to talk about companies like this on my YouTube. I'm not sponsored, but I'm gonna tell you right now, Schmackery's. Oh my gosh. It is the best combination of sweet and salty and savory and crunchy on the outside with the butter and the chewy goodness in the middle. This cookie literally is a work of art, and I've had several flavors. Some of my favorites are the funfetti, the cookies and cream, the red velvet. Oh my God, that red velvet. So I always, whenever anybody comes here to visit me, I always try to take them to Schmackery's. It's like a must. If you have visited me and I've taken you to Schmackery's, raise your hand. That's how serious it is for me, okay? So my mom totally fell in love with these cookies, and I've been promising to take her some, but I'm gonna be honest with y'all, my willpower, it just was not there. It was not there for me to take her some Schmackery's cookies, but I felt like I was in a good place, and I was like, you know what? I'm going home to get my car. I'm going to take my mom some cookies. So I go to Schmackery's after work, and I go in there and I order the cookies, and when I walk in, let me tell y'all something about walking into Schmackery's, okay? Schmackery's smells like a castle of cookies. Schmackery's smells like sin. Like if going to hell had a smell, that's what Schmackery's would smell like. And let me tell you why I'm saying that, because it's so sinful. Okay? Yes, it's good, but it's so sinful. Okay? Now, I don't know what the nutritional value is of these cookies. I don't even want to know. I don't want to know, but I can't imagine that it would be nothing good for you. And I am sure that Schmackery's cookies are meant to be eaten in moderation. I don't believe that I've ever gone there and ordered anything less than a half a dozen. That's my confession. Not even today. So that's what I'm talking about. Okay, that's what it is. That is what it is. It's just banging to the bang bang. Okay. Now, if you are a bariatric person and you are watching this video and you live in the New York, New Jersey, tri-state area, please you shouldn't have made it this far, probably, okay? You shouldn't have made it this far unless you have Jesus very close to you, holding you, because that's what it is. Like, seriously, Schmackery's is so good. Okay, so I walk into Schmackery's, I get hit with the smell of hell, okay? And after I get hit with the smell of hell, a gentleman who appears to be homeless follows me into the store, and he says, he opens the door for me, and I walk in and say thank you, of course. And then he walks in behind me and he says, "Excuse me, ma'am, can I ask you a question?" And I didn't even think he was speaking to me. And then he said, "Excuse me, ma'am, can I ask you a question?" So I said, "Oh, yes." And as I'm turning around to say, "Yes, you can ask me a question," I'm bracing for him to ask if I can help him with, financially or food or whatever the case may be. And again, I made the assumption that he was homeless. I don't know his situation. That's the assumption that I made just based off of his appearance. So yes, that was a prejudice, and these are facts, okay? So what happens is that he is proceeding to ask me if I can purchase him something to eat. And as he's proceeding to ask me that question, another gentleman who I don't even know where he came from, you all. I don't know. He may have been standing there in the corner the whole time and I just wasn't aware. But this other gentleman is like, we're not doing that in here. And I'm like, oh, okay. And now the lady behind the counter is like, I'm sorry, you can't do that in here. Okay, saying, you can't panhandle in Schmackery's. And so he's like, I'm doing that in here. So I'm like, okay. And so he's like, I'm gonna go outside. Can you help me? And so the gentleman behind him tells him again, I'm sorry, sir, you can't do that in here. So then gentleman A then threatens gentleman B. Right? And I'm feeling kind of bad because the truth of it is I'm like, dang, I didn't even get to tell the man I couldn't help him because I don't have a lot of cash on me. So the two gentlemen then proceed to get into like a little back and forth argument. And gentleman A is like, I'm doing it. So then he's not asking me anymore. He then proceeds to ask everybody question, can you get me something to eat? Can you get me something to eat? And then he tells the gentleman A, because the gentleman B is still repeating himself over and over again. I'm sorry, you can't do that in here. You can't do that in here. You have to leave. You have to leave. So gentleman A is now becoming a little bit aggressive and agitated. And he's like, I'm doing it. I'm hungry. You can't tell me not to do it. And so the guy is like, I'm sorry, and so then he threatens him and he's like, you better get out of my face or I'll kick your A. And then gentleman B was like, you lucky I'm working. You better be glad that we working up in here. But I don't believe that he was actually working for Schmackery's. Let me make that clear. He may have been, maybe he was security. I don't know, but I'm not sure if he was, but he was just saying like, look, these threats are not appropriate and you can't be threatening me like this, right? So the lady behind the counter intervenes again at this point and she's like, I'm sorry, sir, you can't ask our customers to help you while in here. Could you please leave? So eventually the gentleman A leaves the store and gentleman B follows behind him. So I'm like, that's interesting. So I'm gonna tell y'all, okay, this is what happens. First of all, kudos to Schmackery's. Listen, if I didn't already love their cookies, I definitely love them because they then proceed to give everyone a small discount because, it was a situation, they were handling it the best they could, but the gentleman A did become so aggressive that it was a little bit uncomfortable, but they handled it so well, and then they just automatically gave everyone that was in the store at that time a discount. Kudos to you. I've never had that happen to me before. Nobody's ever offered me a discount for being uncomfortable or in an uncomfortable situation, and that was amazing. I love that. That was amazing customer service, and kudos to Schmackery's for doing that without us having to ask. It was just amazing. They just carried on normal business, asked the gentleman as politely and as respectfully as they could for him to leave, okay? But I'm standing there, I'm placing my order, I get my cookies, the gentleman has left, and I'm gonna tell y'all something, okay? For you to be that combative about still asking for money for food, you have to be hungry. You got to be hungry. And as I'm leaving the store, I felt like I could relate to dude, because when I was on that pureed food, I was like, oh, hell no, I'm hungry. Somebody's going to feed me. I don't care what the rules say. I'm going to get me some food up in here. And I went digging through my purse. I had like $6 in cash in my purse. Not enough to eat nothing in New York. Nothing at all. And I'm like, let me take it out in cash, and I'm going to find this gentleman. So I walk out the store looking for him to give him this money because my heart went out to him. I was like, I feel you, bruh. You hungry. You real hungry. You ain't playing around here with your hunger. You are for real hungry. But unfortunately, I couldn't find him when I left the store. But I'm going to tell y'all, that was the first time that I was just like, I've been that angry about food. Like, I'm not even lying. Now, is my situation anywhere close to his? No. Are we even in the same probably financial predicament? Absolutely not. And do I want to make light of the situation? Absolutely. Okay, so as you can see, I am now home because my phone went dead. But I just wanted to finish up my thought on what I was saying in the car. So I'm not trying to make light of his situation, but what I was trying to point out in that story is when something like that happens, doesn't it just put things in perspective for you? Again, I have never had to beg for food. I've never been hungry to the point where I'm ready to fight for my next meal. I have never had to beg or even ask really anybody to feed me, to feed my child, to feed my family. And so for me to feel like I've had that level of aggression or emotion around food, it just really puts things in perspective. So for one, I wanted to give Smackery's a shout out. But then two, it just really humbled me to be like, girl, you have really been in an emotional place and you need to get yourself together because it's not that serious for you right now. Now, I'm not going to make light of my own emotions either because I know my emotions can get out of control, but I just felt blessed and humbled in that moment. And it just made me realize, like, whoo, think about what you're doing. Think about how you're acting. Put things in perspective. And just, thank God for your many, 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 many blessings. Okay? So anyway, that was story time today. Just wanted to share that with you all. Nothing about losing weight, really. And yes, of course, I wanted to give Smackery's a shout out because it smells like, oh, goodness in there. All right. I love you all. I hope that sharing this story has helped encourage you one way or another, made you think about things in a different way. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye.